Hi guys, so fresh from his episode of Fool of the Week, Philp appeared on the Laura Kuenssberg show where he told asylum seekers in France and Germany not to come to Britain. Now this was in response to a question put to him about someone, for example, from Congo being sent to Rwanda. While the two countries aren't at war at the moment, there is political tension and conflict which could endanger the life of an asylum seeker. Philp said that there's a special clause in the legislation to deal with this, but the more extreme of the Conservative Party see this as a loophole. Have a listen.
Time this week, despite your moment at the top, there was a serious question behind that incident. A member of the audience wanted to know if family members came to the UK from Goma, a city on Congo's border with Rwanda, could they theoretically be sent back to Rwanda where they might be in danger? Now, you said some people wouldn't be deported if there was clearly a risk that they would be harmed. But doesn't that illustrate precisely the problem with this bill that Robert Jenrick and others identify, is that there will be exceptions, and because there will be exceptions, it'll end up getting gummed up in the courts. It simply will not work.
Well, there's a few points to make. I mean, the first is that I would say to anyone who is in France, whether they're from Congo or indeed from anywhere else, and by the way, the numbers crossing on small boats from Congo are tiny, but anyone in northern France or Germany or anywhere else in Europe thinking about getting on the small boat, whatever your nationality, Congolese or otherwise, just please don't do it. It is dangerous, it is illegal, and it is unnecessary because France and Germany and Belgium, they are safe countries. You don't need to leave France to seek safety. So that is...
Oh my goodness. Finally, he's discovered that Congo is an actual country. Anyway, there's no obligation on people to claim asylum in France, Belgium or Germany. They can claim asylum in Britain, because Britain has signed up to UN conventions. Now, we must also remember that the vast majority of people who do claim asylum in France, for example, stay in France. They don't move on to Britain. We're talking about a small percentage eventually arriving in Britain. Now, why do they not want to stay in France, Belgium, or Germany? Well, because they have friends, family, connections in Britain. Like, imagine for a moment, I'd love to ask Philp this question. If you were an asylum seeker, would you prefer to go to a place where you have friends and family, or would you just stay where you are?
That is the overwhelmingly important point. These journeys should not be getting made at all in the first place, and that's why the Rwanda plan is such an important part of our overall plan to stop the boats. Secondly, there is the safety mechanism that you've referenced. There's a clause in the bill that talks about serious and irreversible harm. That is a very, very high bar to be used only in exceptional circumstances. But on the sort of specific question about whether someone of Congolese background would have a problem in Rwanda, there's no reason to believe they will.
You've just discovered them as a country, so I don't know how you can make that assumption.
But there is a monitoring committee that will carefully examine those an independent monitoring committee that will carefully examine those kind of questions in case a problem ever does arise. But there's no reason today to believe that there will be.
Robert Jenrick.
See, the problem here is that if somebody makes an appeal, it will eventually go to a case. It will be seen by a judge. So this could potentially, as Laura Kuenssberg said, gum up the courts, because many people are going to be putting in claims. They're going to say, I'm in exceptional circumstances. Now, you can't dismiss them all, because if they're appealed, then they'll have to be seen by a judge. And if they're not seen by a judge, then it will be probably taken to the European Court of Human Rights. So, because you're infringing on people's human rights, you're denying them access to an appeals procedure. So this is... The crazies in the Conservative Party are right in a way that this system is not going to work. This bill is not going to work. This act is not going to work, because what it's designed to do is deny people access to lawyers and access to judges to review their cases. But they'll have to. So they have to add these caveats, these exceptions, in order to maintain legality. So it's not going to work. It's not going to do what it's designed to do. It's designed to be a deterrent. Now, we know that, when we dig a bit deeper, this is all just a distraction. It's about the Conservatives trying to appear tough on immigration in order to deal with Reform UK, the threat of Reform UK. This is about appearing tough to the public, we are the party dealing with immigration. It used to be used against the Labour Party. Now they're saying, well, we actually need something against Reform UK. We need to be showing that we're tough on immigration. And as it's passed through Parliament, it's now an act. It can be used, but once again, will it actually achieve anything? We're talking about a few hundred people being sent to Rwanda. We're talking about not any real deterrent because the people arriving on small boat don't know anything about it. Now, of course, there is the diplomatic issue this week with Ireland, where asylum seekers are using the common travel area to get to Ireland and flee Britain. Now, I don't know if that's going to be resolved anytime soon, but it's not a good image for the British government if they're saying, look, we have people going missing. They're supposed to be monitoring these people. They're supposed to be maintaining, keeping these people in the country. They shouldn't be allowing them to travel all around, because then it means that they don't know who they are and where they are. So once again, the Rwanda Bill is designed just to distract the public. And of course, in order for it to appear somewhat realistic, they have to add these exceptions. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.